Podcast, 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 Will It Be Podcast, Will It Be Podcast, Will It Be Podcast, Will It Be Podcast, yeah! Yo, this is your boy Willie P from the Willie P Podcast, talking all things art, all things music. Hope you enjoy.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. Yeah, welcome to the Willie P Podcast.
Thanks for having us.
No worries.
Thanks for having us.
So, where are you guys all right now? Is it a studio and your house?
And
What?
my house. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're at our Howling Mountain HQ.
Yeah.
At our 1B studio in Faulkner at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
I've been at work all day in Coldstream, which is about over an hour from Headstone, 1B.
Oh, wow.
And been a long day, so I thought, you know what, I think I'll change my physical presence to internet presence. So
Yeah,
I'm still here.
That's
Sorry,
cool.
guys.
That's cool. No, it's totally fun. I've literally been working. I work as a labourer, and I was up at 5 this morning, so I get your feel. Yeah, work sucks. No, that's awesome. Well, yeah, one of my first questions was, how did you guys start? Yeah, how did the band come about?
So I guess I'll explain that. Okay, so the story goes, as a solo artist for so long and playing in other people's bands for so long and doing the solo stuff on the side, I woke up one day and I decided that I wanted to make my work a major priority. And the original idea was to have it as like Sarah Eder in the band, you know, that sort of, you know, like John Butler Trio and
Yeah, cool.
Jeff Martin 7. Yeah, okay. So that started around 2016, and I started to develop a full band, mainly just as a 3-piece. And I was writing new material, and went through some artist development, and then I released an EP. And Alan and I have known each other for years, probably nearly 10 years, from previous bands we played in. And, you know, we eventually got together for my band, and because we're kind of like, the way we work is it's like Jedi. I don't really need to tell Ellen or Michael. It's just telepathic. We all get each other.
That's awesome.
You know,
no, that's cool.
And you know, similar music tastes, and over the years we just evolved more as a band. And Michael came in about a year later, you know, after the Sarah Eder Trio, that's what it was called, started. And Michael just blended in. He just gelled in. It didn't take much. It was
awesome.
It was. I saw that. And he worked so well that I think our second gig was in Newtown, New South Wales, and I kind of forgot he was new. That's how good he was.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
That happened. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Because are you guys all into similar music and stuff, or like?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's many. We have like so much stuff, but there's a lot of similarities there. You know, so a lot of overlapping of stuff we love. So even though, you know, we each might have like our own little quirks, and you know, but we, you know, when it comes to music stuff, but there's a lot there that's similar.
Yeah. It's a combination of like all the great 90s alternative rock, grunge, blues, jazz. Where do we start, guys? What could we, you know,
It's hard. I
what can
don't
we
really
name the
bother
artist?
asking people these days, like, oh, so what music can we do? Because everyone just says everything. Like, it's so hard to like, even when someone asks me that, I'm like, how am I going to answer this? It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say too, your new single is very sick. Yeah, how did that come about as well? Like, yeah, what's the story?
Oh, self-medicate. That was one of those songs written where I wasn't thinking about what I was writing about. I was just, I had the dun da da da, had that ringing in my head for a long time, and yeah, I just whipped out a couple of lyrics, and I wasn't really intending to mean anything, but it's funny how self-medicate has been released around this time of the year and what's been happening in the year, and how people all around the world during pandemic have been self-medicating. So, and the video clip seems to gel as well, because we've all seemed to be going nuts and in prison. So,
yeah, that's all. So, did you write that during COVID or like very early kind of COVID stages?
Oh, very, very before, way before.
Oh, way before.
Yeah, years before.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, shit. Yeah, cool. Ah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah. One of those weird situations, like, okay, yeah. So
yeah. No, that's cool. Because I was going to ask too, I mean, one of the things I struggled with throughout like COVID, it was weird how like you have so much time on your hands, but then I started like making like a solo record like throughout COVID to kind of keep myself busy. But it was really hard to like, it was weird. It was almost like when I started working, I was more productive on music, even though I had less time. Was that like a thing for you guys? Like, even though you had like lots of time or whatever, like it was still hard to, was it harder to be creative with more time, I guess? Yeah.
Yeah, it can be, because you sort of like, you sort of second guess yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, you sort of go, oh, no, I keep working on that. Where sometimes like the first idea is the best idea, you know, so that can be, too much time can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sure, but,
the free time did kind of turn me into a bit of a blob.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we all kind of, we still continued to carry on toing and throwing riffs together, but sometimes I found it hard to start a song or complete it, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, let's just put that in the file cabinet and dig it up when we start rehearsing. And so we've just like made a pile of new material, and we had our first jam last week. We've already got a new song.
Awesome. Yes, sick.
Yeah.
So
oh, hell yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's very catchy too.
Yeah, that's sick. It's sort of the similar sort of like grungy kind of like vibe you guys are going for, is like bit different. Yeah.
Are we talking about this song? This new song. That we just it's very bluesy. It's very Zeppelin, Jack White.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Jack White.
So that I have, thanks to Michael, I really, 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 really want the new what's it? The triple graph.
Yeah.
Triple graphic. What's it called?
Yeah,
the triple graphic pedal. Which is like an octave.
Is that made by Third Man? Is that like?
Yes, Third Man.
Yeah. Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out. That's awesome.
Oh man, it so does so many things. I think it doesn't just do 3 things. It's like 9 things. It's like holy crap, smart people.
Oh hell yeah! Damn, I'm gonna have to get on this. That's awesome.
Yeah, you love it.
You know, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Do you guys have any dream pieces of gear that you own or that you really want to get? That's a really tough question. I think about it a lot, but.
Oh man.
Do you want me to save it till later?
I'll just name one, and that's a Fender Jaguar. I have to own one. I've been having that in mind for a few years, and
Nice. Yeah, they're
see
sick.
how I go after
They're like a
season,
sports
my
car.
season
They're
with
so
John.
sick.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
right.
Yeah.
The Jaguar of guitars. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's awesome. What about you guys? Do you guys have any dream gear? I can come back to this question later if you want. It is not easy.
I wouldn't mind a Black Beauty snare drum. That would be
yeah, nice. Yeah, that would be sick.
definitely up there. Yeah, sure.
Have you seen
Mine would be,
Jack White's drum kit? He has like a custom one. It's got like the Dracula's daughters on there and stuff. Yeah,
it's
so
crazy.
yeah. that's probably my dream drum kit, I reckon. Love it. So are we gonna say before I cut you off?
That's right. Mine would be like an 8-string bass, like go from like Cheap Trick has, like
Strings.
like octave. It's octaves.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so you're always doing octaves. It's just like
Sick.
huge sound, like Cheap Trick sound. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, dope. I need to get on that.
Brilliant.
That's sick. Hey, man, 8 strings would be intense. I can just do 4 strings. That'd be awesome. That's cool.
It's like a 12-string guitar sort of thing, So
Yeah,
like
yeah. No, that's sick. That's sick. Well, good choices, guys. That's awesome. No, that's cool as. Yeah, I was gonna say too, like, what your creative process, I guess, is like when like making songs. Like, do you guys kind of all come together and then jam, and it kind of just like kind of flows out that way, or is it usually pretty laid out? I guess when you're making stuff.
Usually, yeah, go on.
So like Sarah would, I mean, like sounds like I throw heaps of ideas to Sarah and she'll just pick ones that she likes. So, but most of the time, like Sarah will have like the good bones of the song, say, and then like come have a jam, and then the jam can sometimes dictate the arrangement sometimes, but and just cause to feel. But so it has like the bones, and we create a song from there when jamming, and sounds like we'll come back to it like many times and finesse it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Good answer. That's cool as. No, my band's like very similar. It's like, someone usually comes with like a riff and then just kind of builds like off that. That's cool. That must have been really hard through COVID though. I mean, it was definitely hard for my band as well, like not being able to like jam, because like that's like where most of the songs are. Like it's like
just not being in the room together. And I know for me, being a drummer, you feed off the energy of the other people in the room and the volume and the intensity of everything that's going on. And so it was
100%.
Quite a very frustrating, hitting on pads and pillows and
I'm a drummer too, man. I had the same thing weird, like trying to make beats and then you don't have a guitar to like make it with, and it's like,
hardest period of musical lives for sure, without a doubt.
No, definitely. How did your artwork come about too, like the album covers and stuff? Did you guys make that yourself, or like or did you have like someone else kind of make it for you? Or
we got the great Joel Hammond from, how do you pronounce it? Morodoth Clothing. Guys,
I'll link
help
in
me out here.
Marauder Clothing is where
Marauder Clothing, that's the one.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, Joel.
I'll link in if he's got, I don't know if he's got an Instagram or something, but if he does, I'll yeah, cool.
He's cool.
No, awesome.
Designer. We wanted to go for something a little bit vintage, a little bit spooky, a little bit thick, and that's with the logo. And you probably noticed that there's like a crescent moon between the word mountain, and it looks like horns.
Yeah, it's tough as. Yeah, it's cool as.
Right? And I think I just wanted something basic. Like I'm quite artistic myself, and yeah, it's hard to strip things down when it comes to an album cover.
Yeah.
So I just told you the ideas, and the two skeleton fingers. It's based on the Fingertips EP, and so yeah, kind of wanted like the Michelangelos, you know, those
Yeah.
yeah
No,
yeah
that's sick.
like that. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, it looks tough as. That's cool as. So was your solo stuff like pretty similar to this, or was it like kind of a different sound like before the band sort of started? Yeah.
It's similar. Howling Mountain is definitely a lot more heavier. I think I was still finding myself and my sound when I released Blood and Bone, and also an album I did years ago called Lady Wolf that was more acoustic blues folk. And you know, I think when you're someone who's very diverse, you could go anywhere. And
yeah, that struggle of being in so many different genres, it's like, oh, yeah.
That's it. So, but it's like, with Howling Mountain, we're a unity, and you know, we work great as a team, great as three musicians, and great. It's just a big, powerful force.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
yeah.
No, yeah, I was listening to it before. I was like, the production's like awesome. It's very good. How'd you guys get it all recorded and stuff? Is like at that studio you guys are in, or yeah?
Oh no, not this one. Is it? We recorded it. I had to go with you, so Beverage
Road Recording Studio.
Yeah, sick.
And we did it over 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
nice.
3 days.
That's awesome.
So it's like bass drums and rhythm guitar done like in a day and a bit, and then the rest of it was like for Sarah to do vocals and the guitars.
Yeah, sweet. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah.
We had Mark Rosso, who runs the studio. He produced it.
Yeah.
Great to work with, great energy. He's also the drummer from Long Holiday, and he's done some really cool work with Kingswood and the Bowls.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Just to name a few.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh,
yeah, he's a great engineer. He's great in the studio. Like he doesn't get in the way, but he gives you like little ideas to help with arrangements or, you know, just performance stuff, you know, so just enough to help the song.
Yeah, that's cool as. That's awesome. Did you guys record over 3 days? That's awesome, man. Yeah. Is it like, was it hard for you? Like, do you find it easier to write stuff quickly, or like, do you find it better to like kind of stretch stuff out like over time, like take a little bit of time making songs? The other thing I found was weird, when I write stuff quicker, it tends to be better. Whereas if I spend more time on something, but I mean, I guess it kind of goes both ways, but I'm just curious, like how you guys majority like kind of do stuff.
It's not very often that we've been in a situation where we've written something and haven't finished it and gone back to it. It's always been pretty fast and basic. I alone, you know, when writing a song, I have found myself, I think too much when I'm trying to write something complex or something where I'm going to go back to. I do sometimes go back to a song I wrote ages ago.
Yeah.
It really depends. It really depends. But if you keep it simple, sometimes and then take it to the band. Just let it do its magic on its own. You know.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I was going to say, like, lyrically too, do you have to, I guess, get yourself in a certain like mindset to kind of write music for that sort of vibe, or like, is it pretty easy to kind of get into that space, both musically and like lyrically as well, like both from a drummer and guitarist perspective and like lyrically?
I think for me as the guitarist and singer, the band really helps when I get to get into that frame of mind of, or that energy, that vibe of the song.
Yeah.
You know, like when one of our songs, Get What I Want, you know, when Alan and Michael start pumping the bass and drums,
Yeah.
and I, you know, it helps getting into the vibe of the song.
Yeah.
So
No,
good.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. It's definitely a thing like I struggle with like over COVID as well. Like I was like, like there's so much, because I obviously listen to so much music. I'm like, oh, I should make electronic music, and then I was like, oh no, I'll make like a. I think one of the things that makes no sense. I don't know if you guys listen to doom metal or not, but I made this started this project briefly. It was like a cyber doom, which was like electronic doom music, which made no sense at all. I guess it kind of sounded cool at the time, but I was like, I'm just gonna try and stick to rock music. I don't know, but it's so I find it really hard to stick to one thing when you listen to so much different stuff. Is that a thing for you guys when you're writing? Is it hard to? I mean, I guess obviously each song is different and stuff, but do you have any other creative itches or other side projects that you would want to do in the future, or I guess different kind of avenues you want to go down that kind of wouldn't really work for the band?
I have a studio only heavy metal band on the side.
Oh, cool! Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so that's how that turn the distortion up to 11, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sick.
But you said us, we have so much musical. So many influences in our music that something the other day, Sarah came and said it's a Jack White thing. He said cool, and then we started playing and we thought, oh, this has sort of got a Led Zeppelin type vibe. So it's well, that's cool. Go, hey, it's a Jack White Led Zeppelin thing. So we just take whatever the song, because when Sarah brings a song in, Al and I would sit there and listen to it and go, okay, what comes to mind, or where does our heart go with this? So
that's awesome.
It's great because we listen to Sarah a lot, so with her good melodies and stuff. So that dictates a lot too.
Yeah, that's really
just
cool.
go down those rabbit holes as well.
Yeah,
I know I've said it 100 times, and I'll say it till the day I die. Is that for me, being a drummer, it's the one and only singer I've ever played with who doesn't go, "You're too loud. You're doing too many drum fills." Sarah, I can be as fucking loud and crazy and mental as I want.
Yeah.
And she loves that, and embraces that. And the crazier she goes and pushes herself vocally, I want to be there with the drums. And so I think the energy and power of her voice, I know I'm never going to be able to overcome that volume-wise, because she's so fucking powerful. Knowing that gives us 100% free range to add as much power and as much energy and as much subtleties as we want, is what really contributes and is able to make this, awesome music.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that's really. I've had the see, I'm a drummer as well, and I think that's one of the great things as well, about being in an aggressive band, is just being able to just rip it and not really worried about anyone being oh, don't play quieter, because it's the music. It's fine. No, that's awesome. So what do you guys all listen to? Do you have any kind of big stuff, I guess individually at the moment, or
Can you guys start? I gotta think about it.
Yeah.
Seriously, what I listened to today was there was Queen live.
Nice.
There was some heavy metal stuff, and thanks to my wife, some Bee Gees.
Yeah. That is the best mix ever. That's so good. That's perfect.
And that's today. That's just today.
That's every emotion, right there.
And I guess it's similar for all of us. For me, one thing that's probably saved me during COVID has been, Nick Cave's 24-hour YouTube channel, because get up at 4 a.m. and I can't sleep. I'll just bung that on, and it could be, Push the Sky Away recently, in Copenhagen, or it could be 1987 birthday party in Berlin, sort of.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
that's just spinning around all the time. So I'm always checking in on that, and so I love that sort of stuff, and love Lanigan. I love singer-songwriters as well as sort of crazy rock stuff like Can't Go Past a Bit of Lamb of God, or the new Manson record is actually quite interesting. I feel like he's been listening to quite a lot of Elton John lately.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that, actually. Like, me and my other band, like, we dig it. It's awesome. It's weird because it's kind of it's a different direction. I did not expect. It's very different from like the Beautiful People days, which is cool.
Yeah. And then I think on the other hand too, it's one thing that has been good for COVID too, I think, is that a lot of bands have gone back and there's been a big push. Like bands like Magic Dirt are just putting out a 20th anniversary of What a Rock Star's Doing Today, and Super G's celebrated their Sumo record, and so it's great that a lot of Aussie bands as well are going back through the archives and remastering stuff and putting it out there and sort of bringing that back into the consciousness of society, which is good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Were you guys able to do anything through COVID, or was it kind of a bit hard, like to do it? I know for a lot of, like, definitely my band, it was like super hard because we couldn't even practice, let alone like,
we first rehearsal was Thursday last week, and then part of that was like April. I'm guessing.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
July was the last time.
Mike and Sarah sort of traded riffs back and forth a little bit on our group chat, and Sarah put up a couple of all pretty much complete songs and things like that, but sort of as a unit we never really had a sort of virtual jam or anything like that. We had a couple of these sort of Zoom chats, just trying to keep morale going and just really check in on everyone's mental health, and just trying to be there for everyone, and sort of counting down the days. When you put back in and
definitely did a lot of that. No, that's awesome. That's cool. So what made you guys, I guess, want to do music? Or I guess, like, when did it all start? Like, with high school, did you guys start playing, or like I guess getting into this kind of darker genre, I suppose.
I'll start with that one. I won't go too long about it.
We have all the time in the world. Yeah, totally go as far as you want.
Okay, I want to give the guys a turn too. So, this is featured on Instagram and YouTube, but to celebrate 25 years, there's like a blog reflecting video of myself talking about how the Smashing Pumpkins' Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness just did it for me. When I was about I wasn't playing music. I was playing piano, but I wasn't into it. I wasn't into playing music. Like, I was doing it because my parents wanted me to. But then when I got the double tape, this is 1997, so I'm old. We're all old, whatever.
I'm jealous. You guys were like in the 90s era. Like, I wish.
Yeah, we were.
I'm like born in 1999, so I'm like the last. And I don't even. I was one, so I don't even remember anything. I was like, damn it.
So, that record got me into playing guitar. And I wasn't enjoying school at all. A bit of an outcast, but that gave me a purpose. That gave me dreams, that gave me an idea, that gave me goals. And I even tried to form a band at school, and I was like teaching a student colleague how to play bass. I was trying to start my first 3-piece, and and then it just went on from there. I joined a band outside of school, which everyone thought was shock horror, and it just kind of went on from there, and here we are.
That's cool. Did you have anyone at your school who was like into like Smashing Pumpkins? Because I guess like that there was a lot of people like into that kind of music?
Going back in the late 90s and you look at the teenagers and what was going on back there, you had boy bands and you had Korn and you had Hanson. So that's what was going on with everybody else and the cool kids, and then there was me and I my obsession with some bald guy in a band. So for a while it was just me listening to the Smashing Pumpkins. But I remember, you know how like you have that one band that no one gets, nobody understands. It's only you. You only get it.
Yeah.
Right? I remember in grade 10, in year 10, I found out that one of the cool kids likes the Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh.
And I felt really angry.
Yeah. He'll never be a real fan. Yeah.
I was like, you don't fucking get it. You don't get it, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't get it.
Just stop now. Just stick with Nirvana, guys.
So yeah, that's my bit.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Wow, yeah. That's cool because I was very lucky. Like I had a lot of like mates who were like into indie rock and stuff, and then I don't know, it was weird. Like especially for, I mean, nowadays I guess you wouldn't really. Maybe it was just my school, I don't know, but like yeah, there was like a group of like 5 or 6 of us who were into some like Radiohead, and then like some people were into like the heavier stuff. And we were very lucky. Like we had kind of a bit of a range, which was cool. But that must have been such a strange thing. I mean, I've never really had that where like I've kind of been the only, I mean, I don't know, I do listen to some extreme metal stuff that no one really listens to, but like, I never really had that, like, I'm the only person into this kind of thing. Like I always like knew a few people. That'd be really like, especially Smashing Pumpkins too. That'd be a really weird experience, like kind of being the only person. What about you guys? What were you guys into? And I had it all the stuff. Yeah.
For me, I was first drawn to Animal from the Muppets, the crazy cat, just going cutting loose the drums.
Yes.
And, you know, he was held up by a chain and never really spoke. He just sort of grunted and was in the background. But every time he got behind the kid, he went apeshit.
Yeah.
So always loved that. And so that would be fun. And just as I grew up, I would get all these different random things from home and just hit whatever I could and make makeshift drum kits and break all the parents' stuff and that sort of thing. But on the other side of the coin, I started playing drums in high school, and I had a really cool teacher called Nick Dean, and he was into the same music that we were kind of into at the time. You know, like the first tracks he taught me how to play on the drums were Red Hot Chili Pepper songs and Rage Against the Machine songs. And,
yes, that's it.
And at the same time, he also showed me, you know, Stuart Copeland and, you know, Vinny Colaiuta and all those other guys. And he himself played in a band. So the fact that, you know, during the day he would be at school teaching me how to play drums, and then at night, you know, I could go watch him in the pubs, was really cool. And it was, you know, I was year 7, and he was one of the, you know, he rang my parents and going, oh, I'm going to teach you all these tunes. And, you know, because of Rage and Chili Peppers with all the, you know, 4-letter words, he had to, you know, he actually asked permission from my parents. So it was okay.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah.
Never looked back, just played in all the school bands. And then as soon as I left, just started playing in, you know, in pub bands, I guess. And it's what I've been doing for 16, 17, 18 years or whatever of my life. So
love it. That's awesome. Was it easy for you guys to find, like, I guess the local scene or whatever? I mean, I'm from Macedon, so there's not really much of a punk scene. It's just like my band, and that's it. But like, was it easy for you guys when you got out to just like kind of find, find the scene? Yeah.
I think back in the day, it was, like, not speaking for Mike or Sarah, but I think being in Melbourne and being sort of 16, 17, there were always these pubs that would, you know, either midweek or even on a Thursday or a Sunday, they would have, you know, these new band nights, and you can kind of, you know, get your unsigned band as a teenager. And, you know, Thursday night you could play at the Art House, or you could do a Sunday afternoon at the Tote. So you could play these really sort of legendary venues, but, you know, just not on their prime nights and that sort of thing. So there was a really lot behind sort of younger bands and younger acts, you know, back in the day, I find.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Because it's very different now. Like that's awesome. Nah, sick. What about you, man? What about the when did you kind of get started with everything? Oh yeah, music.
When I was a little boy, I played trumpet. And
Nice,
then I went
nice.
to high school, and music teacher said, "No, you're not a trumpet player. You're a bass player." So they gave me a double bass. So I was really into jazz when I was in,
Oh,
and then
sick.
I found heavy metal because I'm a little bit old. So like it was like the late '80s sort of heavy metal scene.
Yeah.
And then I went to Nirvana's gig in Brisbane, and that sort of changed.
That's so
So,
cool. Oh,
yeah,
Chris,
like
bitch, I was
front
born then, damn it. Oh, that's so sick.
row at Nirvana gig. So
Oh,
that changed everything. It was like, and then all of us guys were like, and girls were like, oh, okay. Like then it changed to like grunge straight away. It was like Nirvana, Soundgarden, and we just soaked up everything from Seattle for like a good couple of years. So yeah, that's where that sort of love came from. So yeah,
that's cool. That's pretty interesting. You say like from jazz to metal too. 'Cause apparently, I've read something on the internet. Apparently, like it's there's some like weird like similarities or apparently people like who listen to like classical music and stuff like that like tend to like metal too because it's like the same kind of complicated weirdness.
Yeah.
Um,
If you look at like the Icelandic countries, like the music sort of curriculum in the high school, it's very classical based. So they might sometimes all come out sounding the same, but it's very complicated, you know. But so that a lot of similarities.
No, that's all. What kind of like metal stuff are you into? I'm a bit of a metal nerd myself, so yeah.
Well, it did start with like Black Sabbath because I've been a bass player. I was like, so I was like, cool. And then, but for me, like my first metal album was Living Colour's Vivid album. And because a friend brought that back. And then, of course, then it was like Metallica's and Justice for All. And then it just went from there. So that sort of thrashy sort of stuff. But yeah, Living Colour, for me, Living Colour, like, showed me that you can like do anything in music, you know, you can, so this, and that's sort of like how we are in some ways, that we don't just like do the same sort of feel for every song, you know, there's a lot of different feels and different, you know, chord structures and that sort of stuff. So, so listen to that, listen to some of Living Colour, like, cool, it shows me that you can be brave enough to do whatever you want.
That's awesome. It's a very good point. What about you guys? Do you guys have like bands like that were kind of like, well, I guess Smashing Pumpkins is probably your one, Sarah, but like, what about you guys? Like, what was your big like, oh shit, I want to do music now, like band? While you
guys are thinking, I did have while you guys are thinking, I did have another oh shit moment with about when I was 16 when I with 9 Inch Nails, The Fragile.
Oh yes, fuck yeah. Oh, awesome. How did you discover that? Like who got you into it, or how did you find it?
I bought it from Sanity.
Nice.
Yeah. I was shown someone showed me 9 Inch Nails. And I was curious. It was curiosity. The goth girl came out.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And then it was Marilyn Manson, and then it was Kitty, and then it was and then it was Soulfly, and then it was Sepultura, and then it was Mudvayne, and you know, this is the early zeros. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. You guys,
well done.
This guy,
I love you. Should we put in between the two of us? A lovely assistant.
Hey,
in between. So it's like,
you're rocking.
He's a pretty. There we go.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice. You guys sign that online. I'll link it in description. Do you, yeah, sick.
Yeah.
No, hell yeah.
On the Headstone Bandcamp.
Yeah, sweet. I'll get all the links after. That'll be mad. Hell yeah. Is that a horse mask in the background? That's very cool.
Yes,
That's
that's
perfect.
it.
Oh, that fits the scene.
It's
It's nice. That's so good. Yes. That's sick. Yeah, you guys all good to keep going?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, sweet.
Mhm.
Yeah, where were we?
So, other influences.
Yeah,
Other
yeah,
influences.
Other oh shit moments or bands.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those shit moments.
You okay. I think what was the other one? Was seeing Henry Rollins live. Another
Oh.
oh shit moment.
Oh, I haven't heard of that. Yeah.
Because he in those days he had his bass player was a guy called Melvin Gibbs who was like he did all these like avant-garde jazz stuff. So it was like I saw that why the hell is this guy playing with this rock guy? I was like it was just brilliant. I was like, yeah. And Rollins, it's just so intense. It's like I like this. This is really, really intense. You know, this is so, and it wasn't like heavy stuff. You know, it was using more like actual songwriting to make it heavy as well. You know, it was like slow bits, you know, really, you know, some interesting chord change and that sort of stuff. So yeah,
That's really cool. I love when artists do like weird like when they add like jazz in with like that kind of stuff. Like, and it actually works like really well. Like a few of my favorite bands at the moment, it's like they kind of do that kind of weird stuff, and it's like they actually like pull it off really nice.
yeah.
Was it like lots of like weird kind of time signatures and stuff, or was it just like kind of jazzy playing? Yeah.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, it's some weird stuff, but it's the time signature stuff. But it's because like especially with the guitars, like he's not like just doing like power chords. You know, he's doing sort of weird. Not weird. I'm not saying weird, but it's like jazz like inversion with chords and that sort of thing. So because Henry Rollins doesn't sing, so he just yells. So
That's cool.
you don't have to worry about making it sound worry about like the chordal arrangement. You know, you can just do whatever the hell you want to do. You know?
Yeah.
Like Rage Against the Machine, you can sort of do whatever you want. You know, which is different.
Yeah, 100%. That's awesome. Did you guys ever see Rage Against the Machine live? I've always wanted to. They're like the band.
I missed out.
I got to see Audio Slave. That was as close as I got.
That's cool. Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Audio Slave is sick.
I saw A Day to Be a Lion, which is Zach's project.
Oh, sick. Yeah. That'd be cool. I've listened to a few tracks, but I gotta get into it. That's awesome. Oh, sick. Is he still bringing out music? Because I know he's back in Raid. I think he's back in Rage Against the Machine now. I think. I heard.
Yeah, they were about to tour, then COVID hit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was so annoying.
I remember it was like, cool, we're gonna do a gig next week, and then it was like, bang, it's gone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It felt like that for all of us.
Yeah, exactly. Like, cool, let's do a gig. Nah.
Sign the contract. Bang.
like we had a gig. I remember clear, like the 13th of March.
That's right.
Friday night, and it was like the weekend, like when stuff went down with COVID, and like everyone at the gig was just sort of just either scared or just or didn't know what was going to happen because so many of our friends were like lose their jobs because they're in the entertainment industry. So
shit.
Such a weird night.
People
still were saying, "No, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. You'll be all right." Which we know some of them weren't. You know, we've lost some good friends throughout this. Which is a shame.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely rough. I was working at an audio company. We did like the live stuff for like a lot of big like audio shows, like Eddie had and like Download Festival and that kind of stuff. And it was weird. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks out of Download Festival, and they cut like the 5,000 people limit. And I think it was over 5,000. Then it was like everyone was like, "Oh shit! Like we don't have work for the rest of the year." And it's like, whoa! It's like all happened like one afternoon. I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. Like, it's so crazy. Yeah, it's gnarly. But it seems to all like kind of be slowly coming back, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
If it's all happening in Queensland, that it'll all be happening in Melbourne and New South Wales. So
yeah, true. Was there any like what was your favorite live gig you guys have played? like as a band.
Man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's sorry, I'm bringing out a tough question. Sorry, guys.
Technically, I guess it's Howling Mountain. We've only done that one show.
Yeah, true.
Because
Yeah.
we were kind of billed as the Sarah Eda Trio for however long, and we decided, on the Howling Mountain name, and there was a massive build up internally for that, and we decided that we won't announce it on social media. We'll wait until our next live show, which was that show in March with Planet of the Apes, and we got up there and we did our set, and before our last song, we announced that this is the new band name and this is our new Force of Nature. So we've technically only had one show as Howling Mountain, which was great, but I think the three of us, I think our road trips to Sydney have always been pretty fun.
Yeah.
And
there's been some good gigs at the old Bombay Rock too, which is it's small, it's sweaty.
Is that in Sydney?
Good, yeah.
I haven't heard of that. Yeah.
It's closed now, unfortunately, but not Collingwood, what's it?
Brunswick,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they were always good because it's like it was so small. It's just such a great vibe. Like you're right up against like the people,
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it like Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar, like that kind of vibe, like kind of like a small like?
Yeah.
Have you guys played?
A little bit more spacious than.
Yeah, a little bit more spacious, and it's got a nice tall roof, which is always good for sound.
Thank goodness.
And
Yeah.
We did a show there at Last Chance one time where, due to certain reasons, we only had 15 minutes to play.
True.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay then, fuck it.
3 songs like just
Blew up the venue without it being epic. I'm like, okay, fine, we'll just
play one really
and
good
that was
yeah. Wow. Yeah, I know how that feels. My band's definitely had that too. Like we play house parties sometimes, and it was like, sometimes like we had one show where we had the in the country, like you'll have some houses that are kind of close together, and but like because it's pretty quiet, like sound travels a lot, like around, and we had the police called on us once at a house party. And that wasn't too good, but luckily nothing bad happened. They just told us to turn it down, but I was like, oh shit. But
I've had that happen in my 20s.
Oh no.
For a party, yeah, there were 42 calls in the neighborhood.
Oh, wow. 42.
And when that was like within 1.5 of the set, 1.5 songs, like 1.5, sorry, and I couldn't help but to feel a bit proud about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. 42, that's so sick. That is an accomplishment. That's awesome. Oh shit. Oh, that's so cool.
I think the weirdest one, I did a gig like on Sydney Harbour, like a boat going around Sydney Harbour.
Oh, that's cool.
We must be playing till that because sound travels across water, so I think the water police had to come to us like twice and say, guys, just turn it down. Like everyone's complaining, Yeah, plus it's all the waterside Sydney people, they're all like really rich and going, turn that racket down,
You're lucky. At least you didn't have a shit fight on your boat, because I played an acoustic set for a Halloween party on a boat to Geelong, from Geelong to the city and back. And on the way, this massive girl fight out, from the outside of the boat. Yeah.
Oh shit,
and
that's hectic.
I just remember calmly packing my things, grab my guitar, like, I'm gonna go now.
But you can't go anywhere.
And I just remember walking to the car and from after the boat stopped, and the screaming just went on and on and on
Oh,
and on.
man.
Yeah.
Damn, lucky the boat
Yeah.
stopped at the right time. Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a little bit off topic, but I ask most of my guests, do you guys have any ghost stories, and do you believe in ghosts or the paranormal?
Yes, we have so many.
How
Bet you
far
weren't
down this
expecting
road-
this.
Well, I'll just quickly say, like, so the latest film clip for Self-Medicate came from our sort of love of ghost stories because of asylums and stuff. So we wanted to make it look like an asylum sort of look.
Yeah.
So that's how much our love of ghosts and that sort of stuff came out. I'll
Yeah,
let you
man.
too.
That's sick. That's sick.
Whoa, we've got so many stories. I have a mention, and that is it's just been released by a YouTube channel called Ghost Bitches. I have been involved in a little adventure with my friend who runs Ghost Bitches. Her name's Yvette. And we visited cemetery in Caulfield.
Yeah.
No, not. Oh, sorry, wrong suburb. On High Street, the cemetery on High Street.
This is definitely going to
Bell
be the
Street.
coolest answer I've ever had on this show. That's so sick. That's
on Bell Street, Coburg Cemetery.
Yeah.
Coburg Cemetery. Thank you, guys. Yeah, we Yvette had the whole kit caboodle. She had the radio. She had the Connecticut. Is that the right word? Connecticut video where you can see shapes of the spirits. We didn't end up using that because security popped up and we were too late.
Yeah.
But if you check it out,
Yeah,
there's a scene. Yeah, I'll send it to you. There's a scene where I'm driving into the cemetery, and we go to a certain spot, and the density just dropped. It dropped. It was so cold, like more cold than the actual temperature.
Yeah.
It was a bit chilly, but it was just a different kind of eerie cold. I used an app to detect voices, words, and Yvette found some interesting things out of it. And yeah, so check out Ghost Bitches.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, link in description. That's sick. That is so cool. Like, I've had some cool ghost stories. Like, that's cool. You've actually been on like a show thing. That's sick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
We'll do more.
Yeah.
The band will do more.
Yeah, well, even before COVID, we did the Pentridge Ghost Tour, because one of the things that we wanted to do as a band as well is do a lot more of those sort of ghost tour and asylum tours. And before COVID hit, we went to Pentridge Prison in Coburg as well, and had a couple of interesting experiences there.
Yes.
So
yeah,
it was quite full on for myself.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I've lived in quite a few haunted places, but I've been like a friend of mine. We've gone those the asylum tours in Victoria. We've done those so many times. So, you know, I even got to lay on the morgue table one time, which was like crazy.
Yeah.
And those places are heavy. Yeah, isn't like the energies in that place, you know, and yeah, and like one story, like there's someone there. I think some sort of psychic said, "Oh, there's a ghost following me around." My name's Michael, and there was a ghost called Michael. And it was following me around everywhere we went. It was a male nurse or something like this, but it would have come into the building. It like she said, like as soon as we went to a building, it would stand outside, and then as soon as we come out, it waits for me and then just follows me around wherever we went outside.
That's so trippy. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Do you think that the like all the like ghost stuff's kind of like like they were evil, or does it kind of depend on like what place? I suppose it kind of depends on what place you go to, but like even like the cemetery and stuff. Do you think it was like a bad kind of vibe, or like was it just kind of like a bit like just
both. Yeah, like if you go to like this science, like you have like the nurses, and you know the staff there that are nice,
Mm.
You know, so that they just hang around. But then you got like the bad staff, you know, who did the bad things, you know, and then you got like someone like the patients who like would kill other patients. So you got their energy. So it's both.
Yeah.
You know, so
Wow.
and the stories in those places are just amazing.
That is cool as. Damn, you guys, this best answers. That's awesome.
And you know, you got to feel for those spirits that are trapped there as well. You know, because not, you know, that's where it can be quite, you know, full on energetically as well, because they're there. You know, you have this strong feeling that they're not there because they want to be there. A lot of them, they're for whatever reason stuck there and haven't been able to move on to the next, you know, or the next sort of, you know.
The trauma from their physical life still stays with them spiritually, and that probably holds them to stay there.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have the closure that they needed.
Yeah, that makes sense. You have a good point. I remember I was talking to someone else on the podcast. They had like I think they didn't have any like ghost experiences, but like some of their friends did. But they were saying that like you know, obviously like when you die, like your energy kind of has to go somewhere. I thought that was like a really interesting thing, because it's like it's a good point. Like, you know, when you die, because you have I guess, I'm not really sure, I'm not a scientist, but apparently like there's like this weird theory where like, you know, your energy of your body or whatever kind of goes out, and that's where like I guess that's
soul weighs 20 grams or something. That whole theory as well.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I guess that explains why sorry.
No, keep going. No, you're right.
I guess that explains why the Egyptians did their traditional way of burying certain people, so Tutankhamun, the Cleopatra, the mummification, taking out their brain, the organs, creating a tomb, creating the all this the Egyptian writing and the gateway between life and death. We could go all down about this, you know.
No, that's a really
weird
point, actually. Like, I didn't think of all the Egyptian stuff. That's very interesting. They were smart. They were like, I've been reading up some stuff about them. Like, like some of the stuff they. I was watching have you guys watched the Joe Rogan podcast? He had, I'm not sure who he had on, but they were talking about how apparently the Egyptians made this thing where it was like these two walls on each side, and they were able to fit. I think it was like something crazy, like 20,000 people, like in this kind of big whole thing. And they had one person who like would stand at a certain point, and he would be able to talk to like thousands of people, but he like obviously without a microphone or whatever. They managed to set up the acoustics in such a way when like obviously they didn't have signs back then, or I mean who knows, but they didn't have signs or whatever back then. But they were able to like get all these people in this like huge thing to like hear it. I was like, that's amazing. And probably the same with like all the ghost stuff too. Like, who knows, like kind of some of the gnarly stuff they come up with. Like, that's very cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, wow.
I don't know what they latch onto. Like for myself at Pentridge, I saw a guard, apparition of a guard that was there, and telepathically was told that I wasn't going to be able to leave the premises that night, and he wanted me to stay. And upon having this experience, I went and spoke to family members, and it turns out I had relatives that were in that prison, and I had relatives outside of that prison smuggling things into that prison as well.
Oh no!
So whether
so
whether there's some weird thing where that whatever that entity was knew that I was related to those people, and I was going to get punished for what they had done. Like,
that's interesting.
Knows on what level?
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, wow. Damn, that'd be spooky. Were you like freaking out? Like when you heard that, you were like, "Oh shit, I need to get out of here."
Totally. These guys, I basically ran out crying, man. Like, it was really heavy and full on.
Crazy.
Really full on.
Yeah. When did you find out that you'd had relatives in there? Was that like a little bit after, or like? Yeah.
It was like the next day.
Oh man, that would have been so much more freaky.
I rang my mum, man. Yeah, I rang my mum, and she's like, you had uncles and that were in there, and apparently my grandfather used to cut open tennis balls and put stuff inside tennis balls, tape it, and then throw it over the wall to smuggle in whatever contraband they wanted to smuggle in.
Wow, that's crazy. Wow, damn. Soon she didn't like warn you beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You're like, by the way, you got family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say,
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Last question, guys. Do you guys have any, I guess, goals for next year with the band? Yeah. I guess it's tough because you don't really know what's going to happen next
Yeah.
well,
year.
we had a plan sort of already, but it's sort of been delayed. But
Yeah.
to record an album is the main thing. So
Yeah, cool.
That
we're
rolling.
still on that plan. Just that because we couldn't rehearse for like how many months, so we haven't sort of our timeline's a bit pushed back a bit. But yeah. It's still like to record a full album.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a sick goal.
Or maybe 2 EPs.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I mean, during COVID, we put out the Fingertips single and video clip. We put out the Self-Medicate single and video clip, and we were going to put out the EP as well, but we pushed that back to early next year. So the EP will be dropping hopefully at this stage around Jan, and then we'll be out doing whatever live work we can. Hopefully we'll be able to do a live stream for our international fans and things like that as well. And then
awesome.
we'll just get cracking on recording. We've probably got another, dozen songs in the bag that we're working through that we just want to, get it out there and show the world, because we love what we do and we're excited about it and we want to share that with everyone.
Yes. Is the new stuff a pretty different vibe or like kind of on the same kind of similar vein? You don't have to say if you don't watch it. I don't want you to give away too much to people, but yeah.
It's like with the EP as a band, like we're sort of like finding our voice sort of thing as a band, because I'm the new boy, and so now we've done that, because the EP was recorded like a year ago, so cool. We've got many gigs under our belts and that sort of stuff, so it's now next level, it's more of us, show what we really are. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, cool. Well, yeah, I'm keen to hear it. No, that'll be awesome. No, hell yeah. Well, yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. This is awesome chats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, I'll definitely, when you guys do a live show, when we can all go back to normal again, I'll see you there.
Yeah, thanks.
That'd be awesome.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
And pick up a sexy tee too. Oz Music T-shirt Day, November 20. So it's a Howling Mountain Bandcamp and pick up a tee.
Hell yeah. I'll buy one after this. So yeah, everyone go buy one because I'm gonna buy one.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. But yeah, catch you later, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Guys.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Okay, ciao.